Welcome, friends. We are your hosts, Sandy and Wade, baby best friends turned husband and wife and business partners.
This podcast is for the dreamers, the movers and shakers, and those who seek to attract their dream life.
Strap in. Getting magnetic in 3, 2, 1.
Like attracts like. If you see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. You just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way.
This moment in time, this is your time to rise.
Day 7.
First week in the books.
This is our final day of airing the magic on Getting Magnetic. A lot of you are joining us, but some of you aren't, and you want to get back to normal Getting Magnetic material. So this is our final day of the magic, reading it to you. And if you want to continue on this 28-day gratitude journey with us, pop over to our Patreon. And that's where we're going to go through the remainder of this incredible challenge.
Yes. We'll drop the link in the show notes. But with that said, let's get into
actually tell final reminder, what exactly is
Okay,
Patreon?
final reminder, Patreon. It's a community website where we can bring community together. We can have a community chat. And our plan there is to do a little more behind the scenes stuff where you can literally ask questions and there'll be Q&A. There'll be a special Q&A episode, not on Getting Magnetic, but on our Patreon. We're also going to do a monthly kind of live coaching call where people are going to be entered into a raffle and you'll get, the opportunity to go through a live coaching call if that's something you want. But there's all sorts of additional stuff. There's video content. There's all sorts of stuff. It's just a really cool community that we're excited to start. And we're starting it with you guys. So we're going to be learning all about it as we go as well.
So there's 3 tiers that you can get involved in.
Yeah. There's friend, there's best friend, and there's family. So it's like $5, $10, and $25 a month. And it's additional bonus content value add at each tier. So
we can really get into like nitty gritty on things there, like maybe some things that we don't put on Getting Magnetic, but if there's certain topics that people want to dive deep on, we're going to do all of that on Patreon.
Oh yeah. There's even like submitting responses to, I do an episode on this, or could you do something on this subject or topic, or interview this guest? So there's all sorts of there's some producer capabilities where you'll be able to get input into episodes and different things. So really cool way to connect more with our audience and kind of more a closer connection. So we're excited for it.
But with that said, let's get into the magic. So it's day 7. This is a really good one. The magical way out of negativity. A thankful person is thankful under all circumstances. Whether it's a relationship in turmoil, financial pressure, or a lack of health or problems in a job, negative situations arise because of a lack of gratitude over a long period of time. If we are not grateful for each thing in our lives, we are unintentionally taking those things for granted. Taking things for granted is a major cause of negativity because when we take things for granted, we are not giving thanks in return, and we stop the magic from happening in our life. Just as giving thanks to others will always lead to a life magically increasing, so must taking things for granted always lead to our life decreasing.
Are you grateful for your health when it's good? Or do you only notice your health when your body gets sick or hurts? Are you grateful for your job every day? Or do you only value your job when you hear there will be cutbacks? Are you grateful for your pay or salary every single time you receive it? Or do you take your pay or salary for granted? Are you grateful for your loved ones when everything is running smoothly? Or do you only talk to others about your loved ones when there are problems? Are you grateful when your car is working well? Or do you only think of your car when it breaks down? Are you grateful to be alive each day? Or do you take your life for granted? Taking things for granted results in complaining, negative thoughts, and words. So when you complain, by the law of attraction, you must bring more things into your life to complain about. If you're complaining about the weather, the traffic, your boss, your spouse, your family, a friend, a stranger, waiting in lines, bills, the economy, the cost of something, or the service of a company, you are not being grateful, and you're pushing your dream life further away with every complaint. Now you understand that complaining, negative thoughts and words, and taking things for granted stops the good things in your life. Now you understand that when something goes very wrong, you have unintentionally not been grateful enough.
It's impossible to be negative when you're grateful. It's impossible to criticize and blame when you're grateful. It's impossible to feel sad or have any negative feeling when you're grateful. And the best news is that if you have any negative situations in your life currently, it won't take a long period of time to transform them with gratitude. The negative situations will disappear in a puff of smoke, just like magic. First, as difficult as it may be, you have to look for things to be grateful for in the negative situation. No matter how bad things are, you can always find something to be grateful for, especially when you know that your gratitude will magically transform every negative circumstance. Walt Disney, who knew about the true magic of life, showed us how to do this in his movie Pollyanna. Disney's 1960 movie Pollyanna featured the Glad game, which had a profound effect on me when I was a child. I played the Glad game featured in the movie through my childhood and adolescence. To play the Glad game, you look for as many things as you can to be glad about, especially in a negative situation. Finding things to be glad about or finding things to be grateful for in a negative situation make the solutions appear. Walt Disney demonstrated the magic power of gratitude in Pollyanna, and thousands of years earlier, Buddha demonstrated the way to use the same magical power when he said, "Let us rise up and be thankful. For if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So let us all be thankful."
Let Buddha's words be your inspiration. And today, take one problem or negative situation in your life that you most want to resolve and look for 10 things to be grateful for. I know it can be challenging to begin this practice, but Buddha is showing you the way to do it. Make a written list of 10 things on your computer or in your gratitude journal. As an example, your problem might be that you're out of work, and despite your best efforts, you're still unemployed. To magically turn this situation around, you have to do a concentrated practice of gratitude on the situation. Here are some examples of what you might say. 1, I'm so grateful to have had more time for my family during this period. 2, I'm grateful that my life is in a lot better order because of the spare time I've had. 3, I'm grateful that I've had a job most of my life and that I am experienced. 4, I'm truly grateful that this is the first time I've been unemployed. 5, that's your page.
I'm grateful that there are jobs out there and more new jobs are appearing each day. I'm grateful for all the things I've learned in applying in jobs and in going for interviews. I am grateful that I have my health and that I can work. I am grateful for my family's encouragement and support. I am grateful for the rest I've had because I needed it. I'm grateful that through losing my job, I've realized how much having a job means to me. I've never realized that until now. As a result of the unemployed person's gratitude, they will attract different circumstances and their current situation must and will magically change. The power of gratitude is greater than any negative situation, and there are unlimited ways that the negative situation can change. All you have to do is practice gratitude and watch the magic take place. Let's take another example. A son whose relationship with his father is troubled. The son feels that no matter what he does, he never seems to be good enough for his father. Number 1, I'm grateful that most of the relationships in my life are really good. I am grateful to my father for working hard so that I could have the education that he didn't get to have.
I'm grateful to my father for supporting our family through my childhood because I didn't have a clue then how much hard work and money it took to keep our family going. I'm grateful to my father for taking me to basketball every Saturday when I was a child. I'm grateful that my father is not as tough on me these days as he used to be in the past. I'm grateful that my father cares so much about me because he wouldn't be tough if he didn't care so much. I'm grateful that through my relationship with my father, I've learned to have compassion and a greater understanding with my children. I'm grateful to my father for showing me how important encouragement is in raising happy, confident children. I'm really grateful when I get to laugh with my father. Some people never got to do that because they didn't have a father. And for others who have lost their father, they will never have the chance to laugh with their father again. I'm so truly grateful that I have my father because amid the tough times, there have been good times, and there will be more good times ahead with my father. As a result of the son's heartfelt feelings of gratitude for his father, he will change their relationship for the better. The son changed the way he thinks and feels about his father, which immediately changes what he attracts from his father. Even though the son was being grateful in his mind, at an energetic and quantum level, the son's gratitude will have a magical effect on his relationship with his father.
Provided he maintains his gratitude, by the law of attraction, the son must receive far better circumstances with his father, and their relationship must begin to improve immediately. Remember, you can tell your gratitude is working by the way that you feel. You should feel a lot better about the situation after practicing gratitude. The first evidence of gratitude's magical power working in your feelings lifting. So when you do feel better about it, you know the situation will improve and the solutions will appear. The answer to any negative situation you want to resolve is to focus concentrated gratitude on it until you feel better inside. Then you will see the magic work its wonder in the outside world. In making your written list, make sure you list each of the 10 things you're grateful for in the following way. I am so grateful for blank, or I am truly grateful for blank, and finish the sentence with what you're grateful for. You can also use Walt Disney's way of using gratitude's magical power if you find it easier. I am so glad that blank, and finish the sentence with what you're glad about. Once you've listed 10 things you're grateful for, finish the magical way out of negativity practice by writing, thank you, thank you, thank you for the perfect resolution.
And just for today, see if you can get through one day without saying anything negative. It may be a challenge, but see if you can make it through one day. There's an important reason to do this because most of us have no idea how much we speak negatively, but you'll have an idea after watching your words for a day. Remember that negativity and complaint bring more of those things. And if you're aware of what you're saying, you can stop and decide if you want the consequences of what you're about to say. Here's a magic lifeline you can use if you notice yourself thinking or saying something negative. Stop immediately and say, but I have to say that I'm really grateful for blank. Finish the rest of the sentence with something, anything that you're grateful for. Take this magic lifeline with you and grab a hold of it whenever you need it. And if any little problem or situation appears in the future, remember to put out the embers with gratitude before it grows into a fire. At the same time, you will ignite the magic in your life.
All right. So the magical way out of negativity, practice number 7. Number 1, you're going to count your blessings. So this is make a list of 10 blessings, write why you're grateful. Reread your list. And at the end of each blessing, say, thank you, thank you, thank you, and feel as grateful for that blessing as you can. Number 2, choose one problem or negative situation in your life that you most want to resolve. Number 3, list 10 things that you're grateful for about the negative situation. 4, at the end of your list, write thank you, thank you, thank you for this perfect resolution. 5, just for today, see if you can get through one day without saying anything negative. If you notice yourself thinking or saying something negative, use the magic lifeline. Stop immediately and say, but I have to say that I'm really grateful for blank. And finally, just before you go to sleep tonight, hold your magic rock in one hand and say the magic words, thank you, for the best thing that happened during the day. You know what this reminds me of? Remember when you did that Tony Robbins challenge?
Yes.
What book was that you read?
I don't know if it was an event or a book. I
thought
forget.
It was in a book that you listened to or read, and it was like no negativity, not even a negative thought for 10 days.
Yes.
And you did it.
Yeah. Well, you have opportunities to catch yourself when you go negative, kind of like this.
Okay.
And it's like, wait a second, you acknowledge it and then you redirect into like positive again.
Yeah.
But and if you mess up and you realize, I think he says if you go more than like 5 minutes or 2 minutes in a negative thought or state, you got to restart from day one. So that happened to me once at the airport, but it was a really powerful exercise.
I love it. I mean, you're already so positive. I feel like it's not that challenging for you to do that.
But it's cool. Like one day, I love that call to action in this chapter of today, focus on your thoughts. And if you have a negative thought or you say anything negative, one, we're now aware of it. You have the chance to redirect it and say, but, I'm really grateful for blank. Because when we start to, what you track grows, right? When you start to recognize and realize you might be like, whoa, way more negative than I thought. And what I love this chapter reminds me of Wayne Dyer. He always says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So it's like when we change the way we look at things, the way we shine a negative or positive light on it, whether it's the son's relationship with his father, let's use that. When he changes the way he looks at the relationship, and he, instead of coming from a place of like, oh man, he's tough on me, like we have a strained relationship, what you focus on grows, right? If he focuses on the strain in the relationship, that's going to grow. The gap's going to widen between them. But if he focuses on what he's grateful for, even if they're in a strained place, like what am I grateful for that my father has provided me or a relationship has provided me and us in this life, that's going to grow and it's going to flourish. So when he changes the way he looks at the relationship is going to change. And it starts with us. Anyone holding a grudge, the other person you're holding a grudge on isn't really impacted by it. You're holding space in your brain. They have real estate in your brain. This grudge is real estate in your brain and you're really poisoning yourself. Right. So I love the focus on like no negativity today and the kind of 10 things about a negative situation in our life.
So cool. We've done this now for 7 days. Like think about all these practices we've done, like compounding on each other. If this becomes the new you, this becomes ingrained in your DNA, it becomes part of your identity and you're always doing these things, always saying like, the gift of health is keeping me alive. And thank you, thank you, thank you. And like, you're kind of like taking little pieces from different parts of this book and making it part of how you move forward in your life. You're going to transform. And I'm curious, who else falls asleep with the rock in their hand when they're thinking about the best thing that happens in the day?
Waking up with the rock in the bed is the best.
I know. I often wake up with it in the bed. But this was awesome. Thank you guys so much for being part of this challenge. We're 7 days in. We've done a week. And if you're going to continue to join us, we're so happy and grateful. That's going to be over at Patreon, but you can join us without Patreon too. Like if you have this book, really all we're doing is reading it to you. So I want to thank you guys and express gratitude for being part of this journey. Like we've shared before, this book has been very transformative for us. And this author, Rhonda Byrne, I think this is part of a 4-part series. It's The Secret, The Magic, The Power, and there's one more.
I forget.
What it is. I haven't read The Power yet. If you guys aren't familiar with The Secret, I think that was the OG original. And there's also a documentary of it on Netflix. It's very fascinating. And there's a lot of very profoundly interesting people being interviewed on the law of attraction and kind of like these ideologies. So if you want to learn more about this and know like, what is the secret? What's the secret to life? Go check that out. That could be your next movie night. Yeah,
that put law of attraction on the map. That is such a good one. And we're seeing all the tags on social media and on Instagram, and it's so cool. It's so cool to connect with you guys in this community. And we, one of our friends even recommended, she's like, hey, you should have a tracker. So like there's a tracker now. If you haven't gotten that, it's on the Getting Magnetic page. We post it on our story, so you can screenshot it and use that. But we're just excited to connect with you guys for this book. Like this book can and will change your life. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. That's really what it's all about. And just grateful for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Until tomorrow. Only those that can see the invisible can do the impossible.
So remember, you are magnetic.